Anwar described in a Malaysian or an Australian newspaper, in fact, today as Malaysia's perennial political bridesmaid. Is he finally going to get wedded to his dream of being Prime Minister of Malaysia?
Good morning. So I think it's a bit too early to assess what's going to happen. Very simply, Anwar is supposed to meet the Malaysian king today to give the king the evidence that he has majority support in the Malaysian parliament. It is my understanding that the meeting has not gone ahead, and there's even a chance that the meeting may be cancelled. So things are still moving quite quickly in Kuala Lumpur, and we'll probably have a definite answer by around 4 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time this afternoon.
Okay, James, there are, of course, elements of this that we still don't know, as you allude to. What, though, do you expect to be the order of play over the next few days and weeks?
Sure. So today's meeting is very much Anwar meeting the king to show the king his majority support. And over the next few days, the king will do several things. The first thing that the king will do, obviously, is to check the list very carefully to see that Anwar really has majority support. And after that, the king will have to meet with the incumbent Prime Minister, Muhyiddin Yassin, to ask for his reaction. After that, the king will probably have to consult his brother sultans. The unique thing about the Malaysian monarchy system is that there are altogether 9 sultans in the system, and each of them take a 5-year term to rule Malaysia. So the king on its own cannot make any decisions regarding the appointment of the Prime Minister without consulting his fellow sultans.
Okay, James, so still a lot of fluidity, I guess, with this situation, as you mentioned. What do you think the king is likely to do, though? I mean, is he going to ask Muhyiddin to step down? There's calls for a fresh election possibly in the pipeline as well, or even bringing forward a confidence vote in Parliament. Which of those scenarios do you think is most likely now?
Right. Well, Malaysia, as you know, we used to be a British colony, so they adopt most of the Westminster conventions, political conventions. These are conventions that are not written down. So, for example, the Prime Minister has the right to ask the king to dissolve Parliament and the whole election. But under normal circumstances, the king will have to accede to the request of the Prime Minister. But in this case, we have COVID-19 in Malaysia, and many people I've spoken to in Malaysia say that it will be a COVID-19 disaster for Malaysia if you were to hold an election now, especially with people campaigning on the ground. This basically means that you're going to open up thousands and thousands of cases of COVID-19. So I think there's great fear in Malaysia in terms of holding a general election. But in any case, the other option of holding a vote of no confidence in the Malaysian Parliament, that's doable, but the problem is that Parliament is not due to sit until November, and Anwar can't wait until November. He wants to be Prime Minister sooner than that.
And James, I mean, Anwar has basically put this whole spin on this as saying this is the new Malaysia. What is this new Malaysia that he's speaking about? Because is this more about policy and reforms and the democratic agenda that he wants to play out? Or is it more just about a power grab at this point?
Look, there is no such thing as a new Malaysia. This is very much a fight among the Malay establishment, the Malay elites, as to who controls the Prime Minister's chair. It is almost impossible to reform the Malaysian political system, not for the foreseeable future. Many of your listeners will know that earlier this year in February, there was already a second regime change, and that was also what we might call a backdoor entry, when a group of MPs defected from the Pakatan Harapan government and formed a new government called Perikatan. So that was also done through this method of getting MPs to switch their allegiance. So basically, in terms of reforms, zero. In terms of policy changes, zero. And also, because of the COVID-19, nobody wants to do anything but to restart the economy.